look at this. I'm wearing my sunglasses at night. Or, actually, it's a morning here. And, yeah, I'd say sandwich in between some of my games here. Some of my retro stuff from the 1980s. Yeah, that's an awesome decade. And I just got tagged by SNES Master. And try saying that 5 times fast. Well, anyways, yeah, he tagged me, said, hey, can you do this 80s video? Yeah. So you gotta do 5 topics on the 80s. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite, toy line? What's your favorite cartoon? What's your favorite TV show? And then finally, what's your favorite video game? Alright, so let's start it out. I'm gonna, let's go back to the future and remember all this cool stuff from the 1980s. Yeah, woo. Okay, first off, my favorite movie. What's my favorite movie? Oh, it's gonna be tough to pick. So many great classics I remember, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, all that. Crappy games for it. Anyways, yeah. I'd say my favorite movie that I watched during the 1980s was The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, Star Wars 2. If you think about it, it's kind of like depressing because you always see the good guys kind of getting like beat up, chased around. Yeah, it was much darker in theme than the original Star Wars. And I don't know, that's what I liked about it. It was kind of like, yeah, you see a happy ending at the original Star Wars, then you see Star Wars 2, you see the decapitations, you see the heroes lose at the end, and yeah, it sets up the third movie, but it was so intense. It had that awesome drama that made it unforgettable. And that's why it's my favorite movie. Not only of the 1980s, but of all time. It was that good. And it was such a huge departure from the first movie. Like, you had all new scenery. It still takes place in space and all that, but you got the Cloud City, you got the Ice World. Just a fantastic movie. I recommend anybody see it. Yeah, much better than the, paid by the numbers original movie, which is still good and all that. Whatever. Alright, so what's my favorite toy line? You probably think it is, oh yeah, it's gotta be Star Wars figures, eh? Well, no, not really, because we just had those crappy Kenner toys growing up as when I was a kid, and you could barely find them in stores. So, one of my favorite toy lines is getting Transformers. Yeah! You got the little vehicles there, and you can transform them into giant robots. It had this cool Japanese TV series with it, a bunch of comments. It was just such an awesome theme. Yeah, the show, yeah, you can actually read about the tech. See, each robot came with their own spats. You can see their strengths, weaknesses, endurance, all that cool stuff. So, yeah, once you get this toy, you had this whole experience with it as well. Yeah, they had, once I was with the good side, the Autobots, the Decepticons. Some Transformers were small, so they were like part of a series. They transformed like to a bigger robot if you collect all of them, which is a way they grab some more money off you. And there are different series in it too, like Generation 1, Generation 2, Generation 3, and now it keeps on going. Like, holy, Michael Bay even did like 2 movies on it. And not all of them. Yeah, I think that second one got kind of offensive with a whole bunch of racist on the robots, but whatever. It was such an awesome series. It started out in the 80s. It was cool back then because the Transformers are actually made of metal. You whip it at your brother's head, you're gonna like knock him out. Well, anyways, cool toy line, love it. You think that, oh yeah, Transformers, a TV show, that's gotta be your favorite. Well, actually, in Canada here, we don't have too many channels. Like, I was only able to get like channels 3, 4, and 13, and that's it. And we didn't get a lot of cool American TV shows or stuff like that. So I actually didn't watch too many Transformer episodes growing up, which sucks. But I watched a lot of the GoBots, which is sort of like a Transformers knockoff or whatever. I don't know who copied who, but yeah, I watched a lot of GoBots as a kid. I guess that's my favorite cartoon from the 80s, watching the GoBots. Because if I couldn't get a hold of any Transformers, boom, I'd buy the GoBots instead. Yeah, I remember episodes like Leader 1, you know, fighting like Psycho and all that. Yeah, so I guess that's my favorite cartoon show growing up in the 80s is the GoBots. Okay, so what's my favorite TV show then? Which is kind of a similar question. Okay, I guess this weird Canadian show that we had here called You Can't Do That on Television, which is a weird half-hour comedy sketch show. A bunch of kids, yeah, all kid-related, would tell like crazy jokes and all that. And one of the things that made it interesting for me is that they would have skits on the Atari 2600. They did a whole episode based on around Pac-Man, Missile Command, and a Super Breakout. They do skits where they get eaten by a little computer-generated Pac-Man that just suddenly show up and eat them. No, it's not nothing gory like that, but it was a cool episode. Just seeing my video games being brought to life on this one TV show. A TV show that talks about video games, tells, you know, corny jokes, but they were funny to me as a, you know, kid and all that. They go to a restaurant that's called Bars, and they just serve really disgusting food. And they have my accent too when they say a boot. Oh, whatever. Okay, now the tough one. Yeah, what's my favorite video game of the 1980s? Haha. Okay, so as you can see, I'm a pretty big video game nerd. Here I got the Coleco Sega Master System. I got a Genesis game here. And if you see my Nintendo collection, yeah, I got 800 Nintendo games. About 4 Nintendo systems here. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to pick. But I'd say my favorite video game growing up in the 1980s, I gotta go with classic Miss Pac-Man. You're probably thinking to yourself, Miss Pac-Man, why not just go with Pac-Man? Because, well, Miss Pac-Man is the one I always play in the arcades at the bowling alley. And, yeah, back when the arcades were popular, always pop in, it plays some Miss Pac-Man, and boom, I was, you know, having fun. It was always a hard game. I can only get up to like 80,000, or sometimes I get lucky and break 100,000 on it. It's just a fun, challenging game. Always keep me coming back because it was so enduring. It was such an improvement over Pac-Man. You got more mazes and more colorful graphics. And even though it was geared towards girls and all that, I didn't care. It's just such a fun game. You can't go wrong with a good Pac-Man game ever, and that's why it's my favorite memory growing up in the 80s. Yeah, I even got one here for Sega Master System. Yeah, that would be one of my dreams, is again a Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man machine here in my house or something. I figured that would be cool. Alright. And now I'm all done. I'm gonna party like it's 1999. Or whatever, however that song goes. Yeah. Okay, this Star Soldier, over and out. Woo, 80s rocks, yeah.